This is my 2006 Ford Fiesta Mk6 1.6 Zetec S TDCi. And if you're new to the channel, for the last 7 years, this has been my trusty daily driver. It's 18 years old and it's a smorgasbord of battered paint, dents, rust and old cosmetic mods. The last 7 years I've had good times, bad times and very memorable times in this car. It's taken me to and from college, university and work, and it still holds true. This car clicked over to 175,000 miles and I made it my goal to reach 200,000. I wanted it to happen so bad. The miles and the journeys just kept on climbing. And then, on the 30th of May 2024, at 4:45 PM on the way to the gym, something amazing happened. Well guys, this is it. The last mile. She's almost at 200,000 miles. And I tell you what, I am so excited. I don't know why I'm so excited to see that number. Click over, we're almost there. She's so close. Go on. Go on. Come on. 200,000, there it is, 200,000 miles on the clock of my little Fiesta. 200,000 miles. That is just an insane achievement. When do you ever see that? Most cars these days barely reach 150,000. 200,000 miles. That is just insane. That is such a mad number to see on the dashboard. You never see that in cars. 200,000. That is just insane. And to think of how long I've owned this car and how many miles we've done, that is just amazing to see. I'm over the moon. 200,000 miles this car has achieved. That is the best thing. So I've lived with my Mk6 Fiesta now on 200,000 miles for a couple of thousand miles now. It's been about a month and a half since it clicked over 200,000 miles. And what have I got to report back from basically what it's like to own a 200,000 mile car? And in reality, when you've looked after a car as well as I have, it doesn't feel that different to any other car. I mean, yeah, it is 18 years old, but I look after it. I changed all the suspension, all the brakes, the handbrake's been done recently, the alternator, the clutch, it's all been done in its lifetime, and it actually feels tight as a drum. It's not as refined as, say, a modern car. It clocks and it bangs and it's got, you know, bits that are a little bit rough here and there around the edges, but a car of this age and this mileage is going to have stuff like that. But if anything, that gives it character, and that's what I like about old cars. And this car is no exception to being an old car now. It's like I just said, it's 18 years old, but I've always loved the Mk6 Fiesta. It's an exciting car. It's a really fun car to drive. If you've not actually ever owned or driven a Mk6 Fiesta, they're just a really good car. They feel great on the road, they handle well, they're comfortable, they sound quite good even for a diesel. I've opened the intake, I don't know if you guys can hear that on the but it's got a really good noise to it, and I don't know, they're just a really solid car. I can see why people like to track these quite often. A lot of people sort of ask me why I continue to daily drive this aging, you know, old high mileage little Fiesta, and the reason being is that I simply do not like modern cars, and there's a world of reasons for that. And I mean, to be honest, the main reason is they lack passion and soul. They lack that sort of amazing feel that old cars used to have, kind of like this, where they drive well and they sort of look good and they were built with longevity in mind, whereas today's vehicles, and I'm sure you will agree, they're cheap and they're nasty and they're all the same underneath. I know they build cars like that, they've built cars like that throughout time, but modern cars are simply just rebadged and then given to different manufacturers with different names, and that to me, like that's almost like car manufacturers don't care anymore. And this is why I like this particular shape of Fiesta, is that it doesn't look like anything else out there. It's just its own shape, and I think the Fiesta has always been like that as a car. It's never had that same look as its sort of counterparts, and that's what makes it special to me. As a car, it drives really well. They're nimble, they're tight, they're fun, and that's what I love in a car. That last bit, fun to drive. It's got low horsepower, which it's going to have for its age, but you can just chuck it into corners. They were renowned, these cars, for having a really good chassis, and they do. You can really feel it. You can chuck it into most corners and you know that it's going to come out the other side and just be like, that was just another corner. And that's the beauty of them. It's a proper little, almost like a super mini, you know. You can really throw it and it will just catch itself every single time. At 200,000 miles of this car is unbelievably reliable. It's still on the factory turbo, which when you tell people that, they're like, really? And you're like, yes, it's still on the factory turbo. And I think there's a few reasons for that. Is I don't rag the hell out of this car. I mean, I did when I was young. We all did. That's just part of being a young lad in the UK. But at the end of the day, I never sort of ragged it to the point that it would actually damage any parts like that. And then when you keep it serviced like I have, you've changed the oil when you need to, you've made sure that all the filters are up to date and all that sort of stuff, and you make sure you do your weekly checks, then a car is going to pay you dividends back for its life. I mean, that's the whole point of doing services. And overall, I think that's what can keep a car like this alive for as long as I have. I mean, I have daily driven this car now for 7 years. I've put 86,000 miles on it myself, and in that time it has literally become part of the furniture, and it's a car I will never ever get rid of. It's that special to me. And people will joke and say, oh, it's only a little 1.6 diesel Fiesta. Trust me, get yourself one, you'll fall in love. I don't know what it is. They've got sort of on-demand pokiness, not power as such, but pokiness. They're tight, nimble, comfortable, practical. We built a camper van out of this thing, for God's sake. Like, it is one of the most practical cars I've ever owned. You can do so much with it, and you can just take it anywhere. So there we have it, guys, my 200,000 mile Ford Fiesta Mk6. It's 18 years old and it still holds true today. Not many cars reach that milestone, and for that it holds a very special place in my heart. That brings us to the end of the video, guys, and just a quick one from me. I'm almost to 2,000 subscribers. If you guys could hit that subscribe button, it would mean so much to me. I want to reach 2,000 subscribers probably in the next couple of months, by the end of the year, something like that. If you like the video, guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment if you've got one of these yourself, on what sort of mileage you're on, because I know these can go really high. Keep enjoying those modified cars, guys, and I will see you in my next video.